In this training module, you'll be taken through the operation of this Class 66 locomotive. During this brief introduction, you'll be covering the critical driving controls and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started. You need to insert the reverser first, and then you can move it forwards to set the direction of travel. Set the headlights to let others around us know this train is operational. The direct brake has 3 positions: apply, hold and release. They directly affect the brake cylinder pressure, shown on the left-hand side of the desk or on your HUD under the BC entry. While in the apply state, the brake cylinder or BC gauge will fill, meaning an increasing amount of braking force is being applied. Move the handle to the hold position to maintain the same level of braking force, and back to the release position to reduce or release the braking force. The direct brake is used to apply the brakes only on your locomotive and is faster to apply and release than the main brakes. If you're only running as a light locomotive, as you are now, it's usually quicker to just use these brakes. The brakes on this locomotive require us to hold the brake handle in the release position. You can monitor the state of the brakes using the larger brake pipe control gauge in the centre. Keep the brake control in release until you can see the brake pipe control needles are reading 5 bar. This will release the brakes fully. Now that the brake pipe control is at 5 bar, the brakes will fully release. Watch the brake cylinder or BC gauge to see it gradually reduce to 0, which tells you that the brakes are now fully released and you can move the train. As you apply power, notice the amp bar rising. This is the amount of power being fed into the traction motors. Try to keep this out of the red, as it means you're overpowering the motors and could damage them. Built in London, Ontario, Canada by EMD, The British Rail Class 66 is a 6-axle diesel electric locomotive used primarily for freight operations in the UK. Introduced in 1998, the initial order of 250 locomotives was said to be the biggest single order of a locomotive since the era of steam trains. More than 500 Class 66 locomotives were built, with the final one being delivered in 2016. The Class 66 has earned the nickname Shed because of its shed-like pitched roof. The freight wagons are behind you. Change direction with the reverser. Then change the indicated junction either by walking over to it or using the map. The junction is correctly aligned and you can now couple up to the freight. Approach slowly and stop, just before the buffers. Don't forget to release the direct brake before you apply power.